So you've had a few things with your career. I mean, obviously, we're predominantly turning about racing. We talk about, well, I like to talk about food a bit every now and then. There appears to be a lot of people going plant-based these days or vegetarian, and I jokingly say I'm plant-based or whatnot. But since we had a chat with James Newbury here, and he was amazing to the way that he talked about just eating the food and how he looks after his health, blah, blah, blah.
It's very important.
It's extremely important because I'm not one for, I train to eat, see, so that's where I'm a little bit different. And I like sauce, so there's no doubt I like some condiments on it. But he was talking to value, especially on race week. That's probably the time that you need to make sure you're filling at your premium. Is there anything that particularly you eat if you're racing, or do you just eat whatever? Because you don't seem to eat much, just for the record.
Yeah, a few people have said that. I find, on a race weekend, what you eat's important. Obviously, having carbs an hour or two before you drive, so you're burning off what's in your stomach whilst you're actually in the car. But I find more importantly for me is, just trying to eat healthy when you're travelling, because obviously I travel from England, around Europe and Asia, Australia, so I'm always jet lagged. Timetable is always upside down, so to eat healthy when you're travelling is actually very hard. If I'm back in England and I'm home with the parents, then it's easy because my mum's like my private chef.
It makes it easy.
Vegetables and fish, but yeah, just sticking to that diet and that healthy living and eating is critical.
So when you're driving, so you can eat well. What do you have in the car? Do you have a cool pack, or do you have an ice? Will they have the ice packs?
In GT cars, we have a cool suit, to try and keep your core temperature down. In Asia, it's important. Obviously, Australia as well. They don't have them so much in Europe. So when the Europeans come over here for Asia Le Mans Series, they all boil in the car, and you see the teams start trying to invent new ways of cooling their drivers with paddling pools outside their garages.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I saw that at the Asia Le Mans Series. There's a pool there.
That's right. Yeah, so they'll fill that with cold water, and when the drivers jump out after an hour or two, we'll drive around these cars with roofs and engines just a few millimeters behind them at high temperatures. The drivers are boiling, so they just jump out and jump straight out with their race suits on into a cold pool.
And what sort of temps it get in the cabin?
That's a good question. There's temperature gauges in there, and you're not supposed to be. I think it's 10 degrees over cockpit, over ambient temperature. The cockpit's not supposed to be warmer than 10 degrees over, but it gets hot. That's all I know. It's probably 50 degrees at some point. So I did a 2-hour stint at Sepang a few years ago in an LMP2 car, and I can't remember the last 20 minutes of the stint. I've just got photos of me out of the car, half passed out with each arm in an esky, trying to cool the blood circulating around my body. Can't even remember the stint. I was just trying to aim for 5 laps in front of where I was, just to try and get through the race. But we got through it and we came second in the race, but I can't actually remember that part.
So what's the longest stint that you've had in the car then?
At Le Mans, I've done a 3-hour and 50-minute stint, which is a long time to keep focused. But Le Mans is an easier track. Like the Bend, for example, has got 35 corners, over 7.7k. Le Mans has probably got 20 corners over 14 Ks. So you drive longer, but there's less work to do. There's big long straights where you get up to like 330 kilometers an hour. So
but you have time to, you have time to
rest, and you're not putting G force when you're going straight. It's the corners that wear you out.